I have 12 years on the fire department so far, and my little brother has approximately 5 years or so. I filed several complaints with the HR department and the fire chief over the past 6 years regarding continuing harassment and intimidation towards myself. The latest complaint being the end of February. Every single time I was told they would take care of it, or Kim Reese didn't see anything to my complaint and dismissed it. I was also a very vocal supporter of Rodney Carter's campaign for mayor in Peru. As we all know, this was a very heated race. When Rodney lost the election, we knew there would be payback soon to follow. This came in the form of the delayed return of Rodney to the fire department after his leave of absence was up with the discriminatory actions he had to take. In the meantime, Rodney filed a complaint with the HR, which I was named as a witness to his complaint. This whistleblowing was long overdue. This past Friday, I was terminated from the fire department on the grounds of violating social media policy, also because Chris from the Peru Greenhouse said she felt unsafe with me as a fireman for the city. My comments I made were made by myself from my personal Facebook page. My privacy setting is set to friends only. Memes I shared were not made by me. My Facebook page is my Facebook page. Chris Elberg is not my friend on Facebook. Her hatred towards me goes back many years to when we bid against each other on landscape and snow removal accounts. If one of my so-called friends, possibly from City Hall, shared my post with her, I have no control over that. Kim Reese wrote that I was suspended in 2011 for the same violations and chose to continue. I never stopped voicing my opinion in the last 6 years. Never. I am entitled to voice and share my opinion per the First Amendment. You only chose to do something after the election where I was supported the opponent. I have posted on my Facebook page when we created the social media policy several times that these are my personal opinions and not the opinions of anybody else, and if you don't like my opinions, to delete or unfriend me. This clause just came up in my history about a month ago. With that, I can say what I wish and covered by the First Amendment. Regarding complaint from the Peru Greenhouse, I never mentioned the name Peru Greenhouse once. I have the right to voice my opinion where my tax dollars are being spent. This is my right as a voter and a citizen of Peru. This has nothing to do with me being a fireman. I was part of the volunteer group that planned the fires for free over the past several years, saving taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars. This was taken away from us by the police chief with no legitimate reason given. The only reason being is that Rodney is the organizer of the volunteer group. I have never failed to do my job as a firefighter ever. Yes, I may voice my opinion a little too much, but that's my right. Plus, this is my life. Who wants to call my wife and tell her I'm not coming home after a call because a fireman refused to train? We have a probationary fireman who is also a captain that got kicked off a neighboring town because he refused to get a state certification because he says he knows already. But Peru Fire snatched him right up. But since he is on the police department also, and his business does business with the city, he gets to stay. We used to have a 3-year limit in which you had to get your certification passed. But since him and a couple guys couldn't pass, it was extended to 5 years. The select few get to stay while others are kicked off of reasons like they call them retarded or because their dad snorts coke, which is what a lieutenant told us the reason to vote a guy off. I voiced my opinion a lot of times. It doesn't matter when the officers are doing the wrong. We went on a car accident on Interstate 80 a couple weeks ago during the strong storms. The driver and the officer never turned on the dehumidifier. The windows fogged up really bad. We were going on Interstate 80 at 55 miles an hour with a downpour, and the driver yells, "I can't see anything." The officer says, "What?" The driver yells again, "I can't see anything." We were going down Interstate at 55 miles an hour in a downpour. Finally, the officer turns on the defroster and wipes the windshield with his coat sleeve and yells, "You're still on the road, keep going." The driver yells again, "I can't see." The officer says, "You're good, keep going straight." Me and the probie in the back are just looking at each other. I almost yelled, "Stop and let me out." Who am I supposed to report this stuff to? You say that the memes about Chipotle that someone else made and I shared are anti-Hispanic. If you cared to read the rest of the articles, you will see that is reference to the E. coli outbreak that they recently had. If you see that as racist comment, maybe you have a problem. Nobody else on the thread ever thought or said in any way it was racist comment. I asked the owner of a Mexican restaurant I know if he thought in any way that that comment was anti-Hispanic, and he said no. If you thought this two-month-old comment was such a negative comment, why didn't you wait till after the election to bring it up? You say as a firefighter, city employees are not allowed to voice their opinions publicly because I am also a firefighter. I am a paid on-call firefighter. I am a city employee until my pager goes off, and then I'm a paid city employee until dismissed by the fire station. The rest of the time, I'm a citizen of Peru who has the right to voice my opinion. Yes, sometimes my Facebook profile picture is me in a uniform. You seem to think that means you can control me and what I say. That's not how it works. Fire Chief Jeff King's Facebook page activity for approximately 1 month. 15 posts.
How much more time do you have?
About 2 minutes.
Well, we're already at 4 minutes and 47 seconds.
I could do it in 1 minute.
1 minute.
15 posts in reference to bars drinking alcohol and receiving alcohol from the Easter Bunny and Easter basket. More than 12 posts, as per your policy, should be posted on the official city Facebook page and not his personal page. Remember, as portraying himself as fire chief 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, even though he admits to being a chief 7 to 3:30 Monday through Friday. The same can be said about the police chief. A lot of posts about him getting drunk and alcohol over the posts and pictures. I have witnessed sexual discrimination, sexual harassment, bullying, homophobia, intimidation, harassment, and people being made fun of because of their handicap. I have personally witnessed all this against either fellow firemen, applicants, city employees, or myself. I have witnessed all these come from both the fire chief, the police chief, and even the mayor. If in any small portion of my evidence, this is only a small portion of my evidence towards my fight to get back my position back. As my father always said, when you deal with the city, keep track of everything, document, because someday you'll need it. And as per HR department and fire chief, as long as I'm wearing a fire department shirt, I'm portraying myself as a true fireman, so I don't accept her letter of termination because I'm still wearing a department shirt, therefore I'm still a true fireman.
Can I have a copy of